Peace be unto you. With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Prayers and peace upon Muhammad the prophet, and peace upon you, my dear friends. I am Dr. Z, greeting you in light, love, peace, and harmony. And I wanted to get on today to share some things that I've learned over the last 20 years. I am the author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Engaged to Create Super Performance and Profitability business book. I'm also the author of 25 Days to Living Your Happiness. And I've been involved in personal professional development for about 20 years as a trainer, facilitator, creator of courses. And I'm inspired to share with you some things that I've learned over the last 20 years as I've worked on my own self and continue to do that. That there are some certain secrets that are involved in us really maximizing our potential and increasing the life. For those who may not know, my name's Zayd. It means increasing, growing, and being more productive. And I believe that that is the nature of human life. I believe that's the nature of all life, to keep growing and increasing. So I want to share with you some things here that I believe are really secrets to that. Maybe people aren't aware, or maybe they are aware, maybe they know, but they're not able to put these things into action, which is one of the keys, one of the secrets to improving life is the action. So we're starting here considering this idea that we've been given something that other creatures don't have, and that is our intellect, the ability to use our mind. And the mind and the brain are two different things. I think all creatures have a brain, but there's something unique here about human beings that we have and we've been given that have really made us to become the crown of creation and able to subdue other animals who may be stronger than us, or other things in nature that may be bigger and more powerful than us. It's because we have a brain. And the strangest secret, you listen to Earl Nightingale, he says that the strangest secret is that we become what we think about. We become what we think about. Now, over the years of doing leadership development programs for adults, for young people, I've developed this particular model that it shows that creativity and service are the keys to life. I believe that's true. We have an ability to create, to take things that exist and make them into something else. And as I've studied lately, I mean, we all want increase. I mean, I guess I should ask you, do you want to increase? Do you want to increase in your money? Do you want increase in your relationships? Do you want increase in your good health? Well, what's required to increase money is creativity and service. Because you and our rewards will equal in the direct proportion to the amount of service that we give. It's the law. And so in order to serve more, we must create more. And in this super leadership process that we've taught for 20 years and developed, is we have to be clear about what our personal values are. What are the principles that your life is standing on? And have you even given it some thought lately? And how might those principles be changing now during this particular time that we are living in? So being clear about values, being clear about our beliefs. You know, what do you believe about yourself, about your capabilities? about who and what you are in this world, about what you can accomplish, and beliefs about the worldview. Also having a personal vision for your life, a vision for your business, a vision for your family relationships, a vision for your money, a vision for what you can contribute to the community. And having be clear about what your life mission is and purpose. Why are you here? What is it that you are here to serve and accomplish? Now, if you know the answers to these questions, then great, wonderful. If you don't, then I ask you to pay attention and really consider that there's some work to be done internally, because the Creator will not change our condition externally until we change what is within our own souls, our own selves. And so there's got to be some assessments, being clear about your goals, not someone else's, coming up with plans where you can get your heart involved in the process, not just your head, taking the actions and then getting results. And between all of that, we got to balance tasks and relationships, even though we might prefer one way or the other. Some people are more relationship oriented and they get to their tasks through the relationships. Others are more task oriented and they get to their relationships through their tasks. Which one is your preference? And so I ask, what is important to you right now, and what do you want to improve in your life, increase in your life? And as we consider that question, and thank you for thinking about it, what area of your life do you want to improve? Is it your spiritual development, your mental development, your physical development and health? You want to improve your time management, productivity, your influencing skills, your sales skills? Do you want to improve your finances? Do you want to improve your family and fun? And do you want to improve your community contribution? Which are most important to you right now? And thank you for thinking about it. So Dr. Thurman Fleet, he came up with this thing called concept therapy. He actually started a institute down in San Antonio, Texas. Came up with this idea in 1934, but established his institute, I believe, in 1949. And his basic thing is that you can heal yourself with your ideas. You know, unfortunately, there's so much physical illness, there's so much mental illness, there's so much emotional illness and spiritual illness in our world today. But I believe this is true, that we can heal ourselves if we understand the secrets for increasing our lives. Now, Dr. Franklin Parisi, who is a gentleman that I went to several workshops where he was teaching from Dr. Fleet's work, he says that there are no such thing as incurable diseases, just people with incurable ideas. So the fundamentals of leadership, the foundation, there's formal leadership when somebody gives you the position to lead them and influence them. But you can only get that based on the foundation of self-leadership. Because if a person can't lead themselves, there's no way that they can lead others. But there's a foundation of self-leadership, and that's self-image. How do you see yourself? You know, I learned some time ago, I don't know where the phrase came from, but it says, I am not as I think I am, and I am not as you think I am, but I am as you think I am. I am not who I think I am, and I am not who you think I am, but I am who you think who I think you think I am. Sorry. Because we develop our self-image based on often what we think others think of us. And with the conditioning that happens from early in life, a lot of times that's not positive. And so that's going to infect the other foundation, the real foundation, which is self-love. And we have to ask ourselves, I have to ask you, do you love yourself? Can you say, I love myself and I love my life and really mean it? Because if you can't say that, then I would say, get over whatever story you've been telling yourself, my friend, about you, who you are and your ability to be lovable. See, I believe you've got to desire to be loved by other people. And if you want other people to love you more than what you are willing to love yourself, then that's not a good posture to be in. Because you're not going to get that unconditional love necessarily from other people. So we've got to learn how to love ourselves. And self-love is not getting a manicure or pedicure or ordering some shoes online, ladies. That's not self-love. You know, self-love is deeper, but it's the foundation. And as we build our self-love, we will build a positive self-image, and we'll build a positive self-leadership and be in a position to contribute greatly to society. So understanding how the mind works. First is we think in pictures. You know, we have thoughts and there's images that come to our mind. If I say refrigerator, you're not thinking of refridgerator. You're not thinking of those letters. You're thinking of the picture of a refrigerator. And so that's how our mind works. And we can be thinking about things that are current. We can be thinking about things from the past or thinking about things from the future, creating a picture of the future that we want. But unfortunately, 90% of the people are thinking about pictures of memories of the past. And they identify themselves by those memories of the past. And so it's almost impossible to get to a new future if our thinking in images and feelings is related to the past, especially past mistakes and, you know, guilt and shame and those negative things that make us devalue ourselves. And then becoming obsessed with those pictures then lead to certain types of actions that can either limit us or they can propel us forward. So this is how our mind works. And if there's no picture, then there's going to be confusion in the mind. What does it say? Without a vision, you perish. So we've got to have a picture so that we can grow. Now, the growing is natural. It's what our life is all about, and we're either growing or we're deteriorating. There's no in between. Excuse me. So you get to choose whether you want to grow a little bit every day or allow yourself to go backwards. And every moment counts. Every experience counts in our development and growth. So here's something we got from Dr. Fleet, and basically on the left column, he's saying, you know, there's only two ways to understand life. There's science and there's energy. I'm sorry, there's science, which looks at energy and matter and what can be seen and touched with our five senses. And then there's theology, where we're dealing with God, the creator. Now, even though science and theology come at it from two different angles, they're really looking at the same thing, and they agree on the same thing, that there's an unknowable power that is orchestrating, that originated everything and orchestrating everything in creation. And energy, you know, it cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. And God is not created and cannot be destroyed. And energy exists, the spiritual energy exists everywhere at the same time. And so does the Creator, omnipotent. Every place, everywhere. Our minds can't grasp that. But this unknowable power has put what we call spirit consciousness. He's put a spirit in us, breathed into us of his spirit, and that's what gives us life. And he calls it spirit consciousness, which in fact is in every piece of creation. Starting with electrons, that spirit consciousness is reflected in the ability to attract and repel energy. Minerals, spirit consciousness is their ability to organize. H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. We have water. The vegetable world, this spirit is reflected in the ability to adapt. Yes. The trees may bend in the storm, but not break. The animal world is given motion, the ability to move, and their spirit consciousness is reflected in instinct. We look at them and maybe some people, they think that they can think. But animals don't have intelligence. That's been given to man. But their instinct can save them because they know when it's time to run or not, or eat, or. And so the human being is given this spirit consciousness is intelligence, the ability to reason, the ability for rational thinking. And that's what sets us apart from other creation. And then there's also the cosmic level of creation, which again goes beyond the normal human capabilities. And many of the prophets, wonderful leaders in life have maybe touched some of this cosmic consciousness. And so now what happens though with the human being is if we get out of our intelligence by becoming self-conscious and selfish, and it's all about me, now our reason becomes faulty. Our intelligence becomes corrupted when we're thinking about ourselves to an extreme. It's all about me. And we live in a world, and we've seen recent examples of the extremity of this and what that can do. Not accepting the reality of things, the truth of things. And then that affects then how we move about in creation. It affects how we adapt, how we organize, and how we attract and repel energy when we're in the selfish mode. That is not the way to increase your life. That's the way to decrease it. A whole lot more could be said on this, but let's keep moving. So this idea here now, I want to go back to a verse, some guidance, divine guidance. It says that we breathed into you, right? That God breathed into you of his spirit. And that's really what, gives you life. I'm saying that's what gives you life. That he breathed into you of his spirit, and then he made for you hearing, and he made for you sight, and a feeling in the heart that perhaps you would be grateful. So this idea, and I think about this, you think about this with me. Who are you? What are you really as a human being? Is it your physical body that makes you a human being? I mean, that can be damaged. It doesn't make you any less human, right? Thank you. Is it your mental, your mind that makes you the human being? Well, that can be damaged too, and you're still not any less human. So what is the essence? Could it be that breath of spirit that the Creator breathed into you? That's really who you are and what you are? We're not human doings, we're human beings. Spirit flows into you, it flows through you, and it flows all around you. And when we're moving in that realm, it's peaceful, calm, tranquility, satisfaction. So this spirit flows into us, but there are outside world influence that come in through our five senses. What we see, what we hear, what we taste, touch, smell. All of these things that are affected. We get our information through our five senses. And then that goes into the thinking mind. Right? The mind that's educated by this world, by parents, teachers, by coaches, by friends, people that we come in contact with, the news media, entertainment, lyrics on the song, the beats in the music, media, social media. What we see and look at and take in through our five senses on Facebook. Is it all positive? Sometimes it's negative, isn't it? Things that we see. You know, Facebook, laughing at people's mishaps, or gossiping, or a lot of things. Anyway, what happens is we take these things into the five senses and it goes into our conscious mind, our thinking mind. This is where our intellect is. And we get ideas. Spirit flows in. We get these data, stimulus from our five senses. It goes into our conscious mind and we have ideas. Now, when the soul accepts those ideas as true, whether they're true or not true, that's going to go into the subconscious mind, which is the feeling world. It's the heart set. You know, your heart has an intelligence also, not just your brain. And that subconscious mind, they say that 90% of our behaviors comes from our subconscious mind. Those things that were planted in us early in life and throughout all of life, different stages of life. You know, but the soul gets to accept the ideas as true or not true in the conscious mind. It's naturally going to go then into the subconscious. The subconscious cannot accept or reject any ideas. You know, it's like the old story of the genie to give you three wishes. That could be a metaphor for the subconscious mind. And then whatever's in that subconscious mind is going to vibrate in the body, and the body's going to take action based on that. And then results will come. So is this making any sense to you so far? Type something in the comments or what have you. Let us know that you're with me. All right, let's go a little further now. So we have this spirit energy that's flowing into us and through us and all around us. And we can have thoughts. We take these things something into our five senses. It goes into the subconscious mind when you're 0 to 7 years old. See, the baby and the young child, they don't have a conscious mind. They're not using intellect. What happens is everything that comes into their five senses goes directly into their feeling mind, into their subconscious mind. And it's going to come from the parents. Whatever the parents think is good, the child will think is good. Whatever the parents think is bad, the child will think is bad. So forth and so on. The words the parents use, the child will use those words. And depending on what kind of environment they're in, it's going to be positive or negative. That's why we have to create the positive environment. Remember the strangest secret, Earl Nightingale said, and it's from Napoleon Hill's statement, is that we become what we think about. So if we're, again, as children, not really thinking, but we're feeling what the parent wants. We're feeling the parent's fears. We're feeling the parent's insecurities. We're feeling the parent's inability to use their mind in the best way to increase the life. Sure, it's easy. You can do enough to get by. But we're living in a time now, I believe it's about maximizing human potential. It's about becoming more. It's about increasing. And so this is the backdrop. If the child begins to feel, I can't do it, they get a lot of stimuluses, don't do this and don't do that and stop doing this and stop doing that. Well, those feelings are going to go down. There's going to be traumatic. There's some degree of trauma, emotional trauma that's going to happen. And if you consider those environments where, 62% of the households in the African-American community are single parent households. What kind of trauma is that for a child, right? Well, just, daddy's not there or mommy's not there. Or daddy's on drugs or mommy's on drugs. And that's why they're not there. Or they're in prison. Or. They got to work so much you never see them. Traumatic for a child. And then they begin to vibrate in the body. And in that vibration, that body becomes the unconscious mind that starts to control what they do. Because however we're feeling, however we're vibrating in our body, we're going to respond. We're going to act that same way. And we're going to find similar vibrations in the physical environment. Maybe that's why they say birds of a feather flock together. If you're feeling negative, you're thinking negative, you're feeling negative, you're vibrating negative, then your body is going to latch on to negative vibrations out in the environment. And you find yourself maybe with people who aren't in your best interest. Can you relate to what I'm saying so far? If you can, let me know in the comments. Let me know you can relate. And so this confusion now and incongruence leads to anxiety, right? The whole I'm not good enough thing. I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. So many things can occur as time goes on. You're getting undesirable results. And then it becomes a loop and you continue the same process. Does this make any sense? Thank you. So let's look at the same process is going to happen. This really is the secret, understanding that this process is going on all the time, but you get to choose, right? You can choose what goes into your mind. Just because you see it, you don't have to see it on CNN and hear what people are saying or negative conversations about this, that, or the other, right? He created for you. He breathed into you of his spirit. He made for you hearing. He made for you sight. See, the five senses there, it's right there. And what comes in through your hearing, your sight's going to go into your conscious thinking, to your conscious mind, to your intellect, and you're going to have ideas. And then those ideas are going to go into the subconscious. This is where the feeling in the heart, hearing, sight, and leads directly to feeling in the heart. I hope you can see it. It's as clear as a sunny day to me. And this is part of the secrets. Because based on what we choose, right? You have a goal, you want that goal. Now we're talking 7 to 14 years old, but they might be dealing with, the fear that they can't do it. Because their friends now become the same ones that's as messed up as they are, that's as insecure as they are. And so it escalates. And what does a child 7 to 14 want to do? Well, they want to be like their friends, want to dress like them. They want to walk like them. They want to be cool like them. They got to speak like them. They can have their own language. We don't understand. I don't understand what they're saying, right? But they do, because they're assimilating into the same patterns. Yeah, I'm not good enough. It can loom large in this stage of life. So now those feelings go into the body. The body's vibrating. It becomes the unconscious mind. It begins to take over, not your intellect, the body. And it's because if you study neuroscience, and that's one of the things I'm learning about, is that the emotions, the feelings, that's the end of every experience that you have. And those emotions send a chemical to the body and conditions the body of how take those feelings in and then how to respond as a body based on those vibrations. Again, confusion, anxiety, try to suppress it can lead to depression. See life as difficult and getting undesirable results. That also becomes a loop, because whatever we're sending out in our thoughts and in our feelings and into the environment through our actions is what's going to show up. It's what we're going to see. We become what we think about. And whatever we put our attention on is going to show up in our lives. So if the attention is going in this direction, then it's going to show up as things for us to hear and see and smell, taste, and touch. All right, here's another view of this, right? Ideas coming in, conscious thinking, you want to go, but now you bring love to that. You bring the feelings of love to this goal. You bring the feelings of happiness and gratitude. Maybe you haven't reached it yet in the future, because whatever goal you have, whatever it is you want to increase your life in any of those areas I mentioned, it's going to require you to do something different. It's going to require you to get outside of your comfort zone, which is the memories of the past, which is known to you. But everything that you want is in the unknown. And everything that you want is in the future. And so part of the secret here is learning how to identify that with clarity and then bring the emotions of love and happiness and gratitude, the powerful, for that thing, even though you don't see it yet, except you see it in your mind, in your intellect. And when you bring those good feelings to this positive idea of what you want to create and serve by, it becomes congruent. You're living in integrity within yourself. And now your body begins to vibrate. And that vibration in your unconscious mind is going to hook with the vibration that's in the physical environment. And you'll begin to see new possibilities that you didn't see before. Because your thinking and your heart, your feelings are in a different place. See, part of the secret is getting unstuck is first identifying where you are and what kind of ideas you have and feelings you have from memories of the past, from maybe traumatic things that happened at 0 to 7 or 7 to 14 that you never integrated emotionally. And so you may have a positive thought, I want this, but if you're having a negative feeling, it's impossible to get it. We gotta bring the love to it. We gotta bring the gratitude to that idea. It's like in the vibration, it's like tuning your radio dial. You know, we used to have in our cars a dial for the radio. And whatever station you wanted it to be on, and it's true now, the dial might be a little bit different, but it's the same thing. If you want sports talk radio or a gospel music or R&B or hip hop or blues or whatever music you want, you have to turn that dial to that particular frequency, don't you? Yes. Thank you. And every one of those things you want is on a different frequency. It's already on the frequency. You've got to dial your dial to that station. They call that frequency a radio station. So it seems to me, and see if this makes sense to you, that the station that we have in life is going to be equal to the frequency that we dial. I'm going to say it again. Doesn't it make sense that the station that you're going to have in life will be equal to the frequency that you dial? Yes. Thank you. So here's the secret, right? Dialing up that frequency through your conscious thoughts and ideas, to the subconscious feelings and emotions. You know, we're still talking about energy. Emotions are energy in motion. And that's why they drive our behaviors. The vibration, the chemicals they send to our body drives our behaviors. And those behaviors get us the results. Because we can see more possibilities. Now you can be more creative. When you're more creative, you can give more service. When you give more service, you can create more, you can have more money. When you have more money, you can have more freedom. You see? And more joy. And more gratitude, more peace, inner peace. Yes. And as you build momentum, these rewards continue, the tangible and intangible. You have more well-being, feel better. You have more ease in your life, and you'll get more of those desired results. And then that too becomes a pattern, becomes a way of living. Because as you see and hear and touch those things that coming to you as you're following this positive pattern in the love and gratitude just keeps coming. Now, you don't control when it comes. Creator controls all of that. But you are now working with the spiritual elements out in the environment and within yourself to match, come in sync. And what you want will begin to come to you. Don't you know that what you want is wanting you? What you're looking for is looking for you. Is it true? Yes. Thank you. We just have to line ourselves up in this way that we're talking about. And these are the secrets. This is the same slide repeated. And it's a repetitive process. You got to keep doing it. But it starts really with the internal work. And so I've put in red these inner faculties that have to be cultivated. Our perceptions of life, our perceptions of ourselves, our reason. See, the reason has been corrupted. If you think about this process, we just recently saw an attack on our democracy, attack on the Capitol. Do you think this process was working? Yeah, I think so. Certain ideas, certain thoughts were given, were seen, were heard, maybe tasted metaphorically. Ideas were planted into the conscious mind of people over and over and over and over again for months. And it all came to a head January the 6th. Those ideas were accepted as true, and people began to feel some type of way in their subconscious mind. Even though the ideas weren't true, but their souls accepted them as true. They felt a certain kind of way, and they began to vibrate in their body, and then they took action in the physical environment, right? And then they're getting results from those things now as they some getting arrested, some will have to face jail time. So now they'll be seeing and hearing and touching other undesirable results. Can you see it? Does this make sense to you? Thank you. Let me know. So again, the way to begin to get out of this is we've got to be aware of our thoughts, of what we're taking in through our five senses. Just because it's on TV doesn't mean it's good for us, right? Or just because people are talking about it doesn't mean it's good for us. Or just because, we like the beat on that song and listen to the lyrics, those lyrics might not be good for us, not good for our soul. And in order to get somebody to accept something that's true, all you have to do is keep repeating it, keep repeating it, keep repeating it. It's at the core of many of the ills of our society and our own individual ills within our own selves. So we have to become aware of what we're taking in. It's like the food, right? But if we change it to positivity and we get new knowledge as positive and we study that knowledge to the point where we can get understanding, now our feelings, we accept that understanding as truth. And the key to that is repetition of those ideas over and over and over again. You can't just listen to this recording one time and think you have it, or listening to something that's inspiring one time and that's it. No, you got to study it. You got to repeat it over and over. So it drives into your subconscious mind, and that positive feeling now becomes faith. We're either living in loss and fear, or we're living in faith. That's the exception. Faith, productivity, and mutual cooperation. That's the formula for resilience nowadays and all days. That's the universal formula. But it starts with faith. This is how we can drive and increase our faith. And with increasing the faith, we increase the feelings of love and hope. And now our body is vibrating on faith, love, and hope. Isn't that what the new president is bringing and the new vice president is bringing? They're vibrating on faith, love, and hope. We've lived with the hatred and judgment and punishment. Now the doors are open for this positive vibration. You see new possibilities for yourself. To be creative and to give more service and to cooperate with others and get the desired results that you all want. I hope you can see it. I hope you can feel what I'm talking about here. And so you want to get yourself some repetitive positive thoughts and feelings. Pay attention to your negative thoughts and feelings. When they pop up, write them down so you can be aware of them. Self-awareness is the key to freedom. Self-awareness is the key to increasing your life. Because if you're not aware of where you are, how you in the world can you get to where you want to go? Yes? Also, pay attention to the kind of questions you're asking. If they're negative, they're not going to lead you to positive results. We need to use empowering questions and tie yourself to universal truths and laws. In the Word of God, they're in the divine guidance. Look for those universal laws, not the things that's not universal. That universal laws apply to everybody. It's universally known to be good, like service, like creativity, like faith, like mutual cooperation. So start asking empowering questions, because I learned a long time ago that the questions you ask is going to determine the life that you get. You ask different questions, you're going to get different answers. The quality of your life will be determined by the quality of the questions that you ask. PMA, read your positive mental attitude books. Books, videos, audio. This is intended to be one. Review it. Go over it every day for 6 or 7 days and see what kind of impact it has. Learn about neuroscience, how the brain works. There's an excellent teacher, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's all over YouTube. And I'm studying his stuff. I love it. And we encourage you to learn more about how the brain works, because this thing we're talking about in terms of spirituality is backed up by science. Now, if you're interested in more of what we have to offer in this line, we've got stuff, programs, a lot of free stuff. I love to teach. That's why I'm here. And I can only share with you what I'm doing in my life. I have a lot of techniques in order to consciously and deliberately put this pattern into your daily life. So if you're interested, you can contact me at drzcom/programs. I'm sorry, that's where some of the books and things are. But you can contact me at drzhappiness.com/contact. I'd rather you contact me. You don't have to buy anything. Just contact me if you're interested. I have a lot of free videos and writings and things I can send you. And I'd love to pull you into our community. We can remake the world. First, we got to remake ourselves through this process that we've shared with you tonight. So we thank you for participating, for watching. Again, leave me some comments. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like. And we love to continue to share things that will help us and help you use the secrets and understand and use the secrets for increasing your life and those that you love. Thank you. I love you. And God continue to bless you.